Hey, it's Sid. Welcome to another video. And if you landed on this video, maybe you think that you're lost right now. Maybe you're confused, feeling behind, feel like you're drifting. And it's so easy nowadays more than ever to feel like everyone else around you has it figured out. Everyone else around you has clarity, has the direction. And it's easy to feel like you're the only one who does not have your life figured out. Most of the time, this doesn't mean that you're actually lost. As someone who's navigated multiple transitions and multiple transition seasons, you might just be in a season of transition. And my hope is that after you watch this video, you might be able to recognize it because it's important to recognize, and it's going to explain why you've been feeling like everyone else has it figured out and you're like the only one. So I want to share with you four signs that you're not falling apart, okay, but that you're actually shifting into a new version of yourself, which is a good thing, okay? Sign number one is your old life doesn't fit anymore. And you know that. But the new thing hasn't shown up yet. And this is one of the most excruciating, uncomfortable, painful places to be. Like, it's horrible. I just want to normalize that because no one was really normalizing it for me when I spent almost a whole year there, somewhat recently, actually. And I'm grateful for that season. And I kind of describe that in between place as like a valley. You go through that valley and it's uncomfortable there. Okay. You've outgrown some of your other habits, but you don't have new habits yet, maybe. Maybe you've pulled away from certain people, places, or friends, but now you're kind of alone and like you haven't found your people for like this next season. Or maybe you're in a job that drains you and you know it drains you, but you don't know what career to pivot into. All of this makes sense. It's normal. It's it's part of this transition season that you're in. And you kind of have to ride it out because you're basically standing in this place where there's who you used to be and then there's who you're becoming. And transformation and growth like that, again, it can be really uncomfortable. Most people mistake this discomfort for being lost or, you know, just making a mistake, but it's actually a sign that your identity is shifting. Your standards are shifting. Your inner compass that's guiding you is recalibrating, so to speak. You're not supposed to feel settled here. You are supposed to, and you will feel a stretch in this season. And with that, you're stretching yourself. And that brings me to sign number two that you're simply in a transition season. And that's when you're doing everything right, but nothing feels aligned. And like nothing is sticking and nothing is clicking. You're still checking the boxes, you're being responsible, you're showing up, you're working, you're grinding, you're doing everything that you were taught. Everything that you were taught in terms of what would bring you stability, what would bring you security, what would bring you the results in whatever the domain is that you're wanting to get results in. You're doing all of that. And it's, not working. And deep down, something feels off about it. Okay. I started this year in this exact place. And I experienced this last year too for a different reason. And this is an internal conflict that not a lot of people talk about. When you're in a transition season, your old definition of success stops working. And what used to work for you simply stops working. Okay. You can hit the goals, you can make the money, you can keep the routine, you can look good on paper, and you can still feel like it's not it. Like it's not where you're supposed to be. And or maybe you're doing all of those things that used to work to bring you happiness, fulfillment, financial success, whatever, but they stop working. This is a sign that you're in a transition season. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you're missing something, okay? It's just a sign that maybe your values have changed, but your lifestyle hasn't caught up yet. And this is something that I experienced when I went from, 29 into my 30s. My values changed, my identity changed, and it took some time for my lifestyle to catch up and reflect that. You're supposed to keep growing, and with that, of course, you're going to outgrow like your old blueprint and model. And sometimes that happens before you have a new one, and it is uncomfortable, but it's just part of becoming someone who fits their life. It's uncomfortable. And another thing that it is you feel restless. And that's sign number 3. If you feel like just restless, like you can't settle, like something in your soul is tugging at you, you are in a transition season. And so I would challenge you to not necessarily get caught up in, comparing yourself to others, and instead focus on what it is that's going on inside of you that's tugging at you. This isn't the kind of restlessness where like you want to blow everything up in your life and burn everything to the ground. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about that really quiet and subtle restlessness. Like something is tapping you on the shoulder and you simply can't ignore it. And that something that's tapping you on the shoulder is whispering something in your ear, like, is this really who I want to be? Is this really the city that I want to live in? Am I playing small? Why doesn't this make me happy anymore? These are the subtle, quiet questions that if you sit in that restlessness enough, you'll hear it. And it feels like something inside of you wants more. And it's not more money, it's not more status, it's not more external things. It's more life. You want more life. Not the Drake album. But you want more life. You want more meaning. You want more alignment. This kind of restlessness is not a sign that you're lost. It's a sign that you're waking up to who you are meant to be, who you're supposed to be, or maybe who you've always been. And when you're in a transition season, if you surrender to it, if you embrace it, your intuition is going to get louder. Okay. The data that your body gives you is going to get louder. Your dissatisfaction, that low grade hum of dissatisfaction, is going to get louder. And all of this is here to guide you. And you can ignore it for a while, but eventually it's going to win. And that's good. It's trying to move you into something bigger. It's trying to move you into what's next for you. And that brings me to my final sign here, sign number 4, which is you're finally aware of what isn't working, but you just don't know the next step yet. Transition always begins with awareness. Sometimes it's painful awareness, sometimes it's a little bit of confusion, but it's awareness nonetheless. You notice the habits that drain you. You notice the friendships that kind of dim your light and just aren't working. You notice the routines that are sucking the soul out of you, that just are like, they're just dead, right? You notice the expectations and conditions that you agreed to but aren't actually aligned. You notice there's maybe things about your job that completely numb you. You just become so fully aware of the identity that you are tired of performing and you're ready to take the mask off. But here's the key. You do not get clarity on the full roadmap of what's next on day one. You just get subtle, small invitations first. That's it. And so awareness is that invitation. The next step comes after you honor that awareness. Not before, not a second before, but you have to honor and act on that awareness. All of those things that I just named off, you have to act on those when the awareness comes. And this is the part that makes people think they're lost because they just can't see what's coming yet. But that's what a transition season is. You shed before you rebuild. Okay? You notice things and then you move. You're outgrowing things in the meantime before you get into the level up or before you get into the upgrade. And then it looks like on the outside like you just leveled up. But more often than not, what was going on is this upgrade below the surface that wasn't so visible. I think a lot of people, associate growth with, clarity and momentum and feeling motivated. But to be honest, the seasons of my life where the growth was the deepest, the most profound, like the most growth, like there was doubt, so much doubt. There was restlessness. There was disconnection. There was me reevaluating everything that I ever thought I wanted. There was me letting go of things, letting go of pieces of myself that, maybe I used to feel like I had to hang on to. These are not signs that you're lost. They're signs that you're starting to listen to yourself. And transitions feel messy because you're rewriting parts of your life that you didn't anticipate rewriting, that you didn't know would need a rewrite. And you're changing things about your life that take time to change. If any of this resonated with you, I hope that you let out a deep breath. I hope that you realize that you're not failing, you're not behind, and even though you might feel lost, which I can totally empathize with, it doesn't mean that you are lost, okay? You're in the middle of becoming someone that you haven't met yet, that is really excited to meet you if you can just ride this out. So I encourage you to let this season do what it's trying to do. I'm going to ask you to slow down. I'm going to ask you to pay attention. I'm going to ask you to not try and rush yourself into the next version of your life, trying to escape the discomfort that comes with this change and that comes with this level up. I know it's easy to do, but don't. Okay, you're not meant to stay the same forever. And the fact that you can feel that something's changing means that you're already on your way to that change. So go ahead, buckle up, sit down, slow down, breathe it out, and you got this. Let me know in the comments if you're in a transition season. Let me know which of these signs hit the most for you. My name is Sid Scott. Thanks for watching another video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.